Hi, this is Regina Y. Favors with the series Don't Move Her In. And so this series is an extension of a previous series, Don't Move Him In, where I target certain blog articles to women who might struggle with letting a man come live with them. So this is along the same lines, along the same veins in terms of purpose and strategy that men need to be careful about the women that they let come move in with them, especially if you believe that this woman is going to be the type of woman who might be someone you desire to either marry or have a long-term relationship with, as well as a union. And Don't Move Her In is usually targeted to the types of men who have their stuff together. They have had their own place since, I don't know, since they could get a place. They have kept a job. They have been stable. They have savings. They have maybe like investments. They can make a lot of money, or they don't make a lot of money. It doesn't. They just got a clue much earlier in life about finances, about life, about taking care of yourself. Sometimes they might have been forced to take care of themselves. Regardless, they have their stuff together. And it's a very few people in both genders, very few people in different races get a clue early in life about finances. And sometimes very few people get a clue about what it takes to be an adult, meaning that you take care of yourself. You don't lean primarily on a parent, even for money, that you manage your money. And some people, they get it very early. I don't know what kind of influences that they have had in their lives. Regardless, you can see them at 30, 40, 50 years old, never having to ever live with someone. They were never put out of their place. They were never homeless. They never lost their job, or if they had a job change, they made sure to like have a backup. You don't see them having disruptive life patterns other than something that might happen externally, like a flood, like a disaster or something like that. Other than that, they tend to be the people who are stable. And that is not to mock them, that is to actually appreciate and encourage and confirm that it can happen, it does happen, and there are people who are out here from an early age to the age that they're now still stable, right? So when you think about Don't Move Her In, and it's still a topic in development, a series in development, I want you to think about the type of woman who pits you against the ex, who picks a current partner against her ex. What that looks like, what type of woman she is, what you can expect, and how really dangerous it is for you to continue in relationship with the person. The most important aspect of this, if we look at this from either gender, male or female, that if your current partner is still messing around with an ex, that person is not, your current partner is not over that person. Your current partner wants to mess around with the ex. Your current partner is maybe keeping up with the ex is probably keeping up with your partner. Regardless, they want that dynamic. Because I'm the kind of person, once I'm done with someone, from a female perspective, once I'm done with the person and I done tarried, I done tried to work things out, time has passed, all that kind of stuff. And once I make a decision to leave you alone, I wouldn't call you to use you. If I call you, if I called you, you better know it is strictly an emergency. Because once I'm done, I'm done. I don't play around. I don't go back and forth. I don't dib and dab. I don't go back around that person to get anything from that person. A woman, so therefore, when a woman is doing that and she's going back and forth with a partner, with an ex-partner, you have to challenge her belief system, her belief system is it's okay to stay in contact with a partner. And I'm not necessarily talking about an ex-partner who she has kids with. That has its own challenges. I'm not going to really speak on that because sometimes that could be obvious. I'm speaking on a person who has no ties to the partner. They were never married. They might have lived together. It might have been short. It might have been long. They have no kids. They're not even in contact with each other's families. And yet she wants to keep in contact with an ex because in order for her to pit you against the ex, that means she is in contact with the person. That means she's in contact with the person. Or she has always kept contact, or he always has her telephone number. And she made sure that he had her telephone number. This could be the type of woman who you're with whose partner might be in jail, in prison, and she never told you. And suddenly now there's this, she's distracted and she always has to leave the house and something is going on and you can feel it. Well, he probably got out. This could be a person who she struggled with emotionally, mentally, psychologically, and she just never felt good enough for him. And so she goes on this life mission to prove him wrong about her. That could be that case. Regardless of her, whatever the reason is for her keeping in contact with the person, you have to take note of any type of person, including yourself. You have to take note of anyone who desires to go back to their past, because when you are reaching backwards, you're reaching back into history, and it's one of those things where I think I did a topic about returning to dead things. If that relationship was a relationship that was still viable and workable and productive, and could turn into something, convert or transition into something, then it wouldn't be a dead thing. It will be something that they can both work on. But if you find a person and yourself returning to an ex-partner, a lot of times that could be a dead thing. Now, there have been times where there was a breakup between two people and it lasted for however long it lasted, and they came back together. Then they got married and they've been together for double-digit years. That could still happen. But oftentimes, I feel like most times when you go back, when you reach back, you're supposed to be moving forward and you take your arm to reach back at something that is dead, that it no longer works. And returning to dead things could always be considered returning to old patterns, returning to old belief systems, returning to old strategies, returning to something that you used to do to make work. But you have to challenge the person's notion to go back, because if it was supposed to work, it would work. She wouldn't need to be in a relationship with you for it to work. So then when does she why would she pit you against the ex? Well, she's going to pit you against the ex because truly there's no love there for you. There's no respect there for you. There's no heart for you. She might have gotten you on a rebound. She might have gotten you at a time where you were exiting a relationship. She presented a face, she presented a mask, she presented an actress, she presented a representative. And maybe she presented herself as someone you can save. And so that's what sort of propelled you and compelled you to try to reach out to her and be all that you can be for her, right? But she's not going to change her mind about the ex if she feels like she has to pit you against the ex or pit the ex against you, meaning that she's telling the ex one thing and then she's telling you another thing. And one of these days it's going to collide. It's not going to have the effect. It's not going to turn into a relationship if she's still living in the past. When she pits you against the ex, there is some sort of rhythm to that. There is some timeline to that. It just depends. The ex could be an amalgam of different people she has had to deal with. And that's not necessarily different people that she has been sexually involved with, but it can be an amalgam of different people, meaning that it's a blend of a mother, a father, a boyfriend, a first love, a cousin who got her into stuff. Um, it could be a sibling. It can be an amalgam, a blend of different types of people that she has dealt with. And so the X represents that type of person, meaning that if you're returning to the X, you are returning to toxicity, or you might be returning to toxicity. You might be returning to chaos, because if you are the stable type, you have your own place, you keep a job, you have health insurance, you have some savings in the bank, and you look like a person who everyone should or should sort of set a goal to become, which means, financially stable. If she is removing herself out of the comforts that you are providing her to now go towards the X and use the X against you, at some point you may have to deduce that she just might be jealous of you. She might be jealous of the stability that you provide, because why would you why would you logically, reasonably want to leave something that is working to go back to something that is not working? He's an X for a reason. Now, you have to determine what that reason is. It could be that she created the situation where he became an X, or he created the situation where he became an X. Regardless, he's an X for a reason. So, I think about these things sometimes, because if the man created the opportunity for her to be an X, then she's always going to be reaching out to try to change his mind about her. And no matter what she does, no matter what you give her, the clothes you give her, the money that you give her, the time that you give her, the loving that you give her, the heart that you give her, she's just going to take all of that and give it to him. It's like setting a table, she's going to set the very table that you're setting for her, which is opportunity, will be the same opportunity that she gives to him. And when he doesn't act right, or when he acts like he can do better than her, then she's going to now pit you two against each other. She's going to now go to him and tell him, well, I got this man, he's good to me. And I'm like, if you want me or something like that, you need to act right. Okay. Well, if the guy doesn't make a case to go after her, that's going to frustrate her even more. So then she'll return to the house with you and be upset, slam doors. You don't understand what's going on. All of a sudden, she just completely upset, angry, and maybe even want to have sex with you, make love to you. You can't understand, because it's not the same type of rhythm that you're used to with her. And then she gets her feel, she gets her release, and then all that does is make her sufficient and satisfactory for her to then go back to battle with the ex, because the goal is to get the X. Whether she wants to keep the X or not, it doesn't matter. The goal is to get the X. And so she's going to use you as a intermediary, use your money, use your time, use your house as a way to get the X. She might even take that money that you give her and give it to the X. And so she's pitting you two against the X, because she values the X more than she values you. Again, you can offer all the value in the world to her, but she doesn't value what you have. She doesn't value the fact that you have your own place. She doesn't value the fact that you have your own job. She doesn't value the fact that you have your own money. She doesn't value the fact that you are in this process of self improvement. Maybe going to college, or if you've already gone to college, maybe taking some classes, anything like that. Exercise, go bowling with your friends. You have a life. Essentially, you have a life. And she doesn't value your life, because if she valued your life, she wouldn't have to pit another life against you. And she wouldn't have to pit you and your life against another person and his life. In other words, she's playing with two different lives. She's playing with two different lives. She's playing with two different souls. She's playing with two different emotions. She's playing with two different belief systems. She's playing with the past and the present. She's playing with the future, because if your all your three worlds collide, someone is going to get hurt. And I've always made this case, and I've done it in a video, that the drunk driver never gets killed. All the pedestrians on the street, all the oncoming cars, they get killed. The pedestrian on the street gets killed. The passengers in the car, they all get killed. But the drunk driver never gets killed. The drunk driver never gets killed. And I was talking to a police officer about this, and he made a very interesting point. He said that the alcohol that they have in them kind of depresses them or something. It depresses it reduces some sort of inhibitions or something like that, so that when they crash, it doesn't have the same effect as it would have on the passenger. I still don't have a very good clue about that, but the way that he put it made sense. And so when a person is pitting you against the ex, when she's pitting you against the ex, she's doing it from an informed point of view. Whether she understands the consequences of her actions, sure, there are actions and then there are results from actions, but sometimes people don't fully understand the consequences of their actions. Nobody thinks when they get into a car uh, drunk that is actually going to crash and hurt somebody. They know that it might weave in and out of traffic. They might struggle with the wheel. They may struggle to understand things like that, but their mind won't let them look at the forward movement of that type of action. What it looks potentially that they could kill somebody. That's why some of these folks, when they go to court, they've been arrested and they go to court and they're now on trial, they are actually shocked. It's almost like they believe the victim is the one who got in front of the car and made himself get hit, right? They think that the situation really, they kind of disassociate from it, right? They are one person, and the person who committed the act is a completely different person. That's why you always have people say, well, I would never have done anything. I mean, that is not me. There is no way that I would have ever done anything like that. And they are implying that you must be lying on me. Someone must have told you a lie, because there is no way that I would have ever done anything. I know who I am. I know me. There's no way I would have done that. And then that that denial, that disassociation moves into denial. Then it moves into some form of gaslighting, trying to blame the victim. Okay. So then you put it on the same level as the woman who's pitting you against the ex, and something happens in a situation where the ex and you are fighting and something tragic happens. She didn't see too far in the future that that would happen. She only saw that I want to get back at my ex, or I want my ex to feel something because I'm bored right now and he's not showing me any attention. And so if I pit him against my current partner, or pit my partner against my current partner, my ex, then maybe something will happen and he will see me and I won't be invisible, and maybe we could get back together. Because all this is, at the end of the day, when people are creating chaotic situations and toxic situations and pursuing violence and things like that, it all goes back to feeling invisible, not seen, and people, and not accepted, and feeling rejected. And she's going through a process, or I don't necessarily think she's really enduring a process, but she is going through the process of rejection and not truly knowing how to deal with the rejection. So if she's pitting you against the ex, it's because she still loves the ex, or she wants to be with the ex, and the ex doesn't want to be with her. And if she can just show him that she's worthy, that she is a person who he can love and be there for. In other words, she's wanting the ex to be you, or she wants you to be the ex. The very thing that she's wanted all her life is to be loved and received and hugged and taken care of and provided for and all that kind of stuff. She has it in you, but she can't receive it from you. She wanted from the ex. She wants it from the ex. If the ex could be that way, could have his house, could have his own place, keep a job, be stable and everything. So that means on some level she's attracted, she wants a stable life. She doesn't want it with you. Or she would rather the person that she really wanted that life to be with, she wanted to be with him, but he's not capable. He doesn't have the capacity, he doesn't have the drive. He doesn't have the process. He doesn't even have the concern or care about who he is as an individual. On the flip side, he could be you. He could be the very same person who is stable, has his own place, keeps a job, been on that place, has a little bit of education, self-improvement. You both can be the same types of people, but somehow she would rather he be the one that she could be with versus you are the one that she's with at the moment, meaning that it's probably between this idea, this conflict between needs and wants. Okay, desires and wants versus a need that you have. She must need you. You must be the type of person who reflects someone who is necessary, right? Not in other words, if she's going to get anywhere, it might be in you that she's going to get somewhere. That if she stays with the ex, she will stay at one stage in her life. She won't move up, and she might actually go down in life. Versus with you, she could actually move up in life. She can do more. She can learn more. At the end of the day, if she's pitting you against the ex, it's because she stopped learning. She doesn't want to learn anymore. She doesn't want to progress. She doesn't want to heal. She doesn't want to recover. She doesn't want to do much more than what she's doing, which is much more productive in pitting you against the ex. So when you tap into the fact that she doesn't want to learn from her mistakes and learn from her past decision making, then you can begin to track when she stopped learning, when she stopped realizing that learning wasn't necessary, and that just doing something just to do it was a much more viable alternative. That could have been in elementary school, that could have been in middle middle school, that could have been in high school. Wherever it is, she stopped learning. Because if you stop learning, you're going to stop sort of like healing, recovery, uh, getting out of your emotional cage, psychological cages, trying to move forward in life. In other words, if she's pitting you against the ex, she's refusing to learn from you, and there must be something on the inside of you that she actually needs to learn. Because if it was something that she's supposed to learn from the ex, she would be with the ex. He wouldn't be an ex. But she keeps jumping over some process. If she has to, if she feels like she has to go backwards, to go back to the ex, she keeps jumping over some process. And the more that she pits you against the ex, it looks like productivity. It looks like action, right? Really, what it is just activity. It's not productivity. She doesn't have a life plan. She doesn't know what she want to do with her life. She doesn't see. She doesn't have a vision. She doesn't have a mission. Pitting you against the ex reflects a person who is vacillating between high school mentality and adulthood, going back and forth. Because this strategy of pitting you against the ex did not begin with her adulthood. It likely began somewhere in middle school or high school. And since it worked, she just carried forward the pattern to you. And the more you give in, the more you sort of um, um, tolerate the situation, the more she feels like it's working. And the longer someone feels like something is working, they're not going to change. And change, thus, is the key word. Change. Learning and change, but change, thus, is the key word. She's refusing to change. So don't move her in while she pits you against the X, leads ultimately to this idea of a refusal to change. Visit reginayfavors.com for more tips, access to documents, uh, and videos. You can also visit my online store, www.reginayfavorsauthor.com. You can visit the YouTube channel, which is Regina Y. Favors, and then the Amazon, amazon.com/author/Regina Y. Favors for a list of titles. Thank you very much for listening.